Good morning, friends. In the last period, we have studied about the latest development of optical fiber. In that, number one is HPSUV and another is HPSIR. These two fibers we have studied. In the today's lecture, we are going to discuss the two important points. That is number one, that is halide fiber, and number two, that is tapered optical fiber. These are the two important fibers we are going to discuss in this lecture. First of all, we have to consider the halide fiber, that is having generally wavelength. That is, we have studied about the different fibers having different wavelength. That is HPSIR having a wavelength is, we have discussed about next HPSIR UV having wavelength is 180 to 800 nanometer, and IR having wavelength is near about 500 to 2600 nanometer. But here halide fiber having a very wavelength less, that is 3 to 15 micrometer. That is the wavelength for such type of fiber, and that is most common application for use with the CO2 laser. It is used in medicine field. Generally such type of fibers are used to replace a bulk optical delivery system in industry also. CO2 laserला replace करून आपण त्या ठिकाणी bulk optical delivery system is used in industry also. And normal lifetime of such type of fiber is a very less, that is near about 6 to 12 months. It is the normal life for the halide fiber. Question may be asked on that. That is, what is the normal lifetime for the halide fiber? Halide fiber having a lifetime is near about 6 to 12 months. That is also depends on the handling of the optical fiber, but it is nearly, we have to use that 6 to 12 months is the normal lifetime. Then after that, what are the important characteristics for such type of fiber? Generally, we have to say that halide fiber, the HPSIR and HPSUV having numerical aperture is near about 0.24. All fiber near about numerical aperture is 0.24, but halide fiber having numerical aperture is greater than 0.7. This is the main characteristic of such type of fiber. Outer diameter protective coating is 0.36 to 1.5 millimeter. This is the outer diameter coating for the protection of the fiber used, that is 0.36 to 1.5 mm, and the core diameter is a 0.1 to 1.2 mm. Remember these factors we have to remember for multiple choice question. Core diameter for the halide fiber is 0.1 to 1.2 mm. This point we have to remember. Attenuation is near about 0.5 to 1.5 dB per meter in halide fiber for CO2 laser, and while attenuation we have to use in the CO2 laser, but length is 5 to 6 micrometer. It is greater than 2 dB per meter. Generally its attenuation is greater than 2 dB per meter. This is the range we have to remember for the halide fiber. Wavelength is, we have also 3 to 15 micrometer. That is the main characteristics, and we have to consider here the wavelength of halide fiber is 3 to 15 micrometer. We have to use for the wavelength of the halide fiber. The maximum length available, that is 15 meter. Generally all the characteristics having here 15. Remember the factors: 1.5 mm, 1.5 dB, 15 micrometer, then 15 meter, 150. 15 is the important for halide fiber. 1.5 is the number, that is we have to consider. What is the wavelength? 3 to 15. What is the core diameter? Near about 1.5, and core diameter for protective coating is 0.36 to 1.5. Here core diameter 0.1 to 1.2 mm. Attenuation is 1.5 dB per meter, and for 5 to 6 micrometer is greater than 2 dB per meter. Wavelength is 3 to 15 meter. Maximum length is 15 meter. Yield strength is 150 nanometer to 170 mega pascal, and the radius of the elastic bending is 70 centimeter, 70.4 centimeter. This is the point we have to remember for the halide fibers. Okay. Then next one is tapered optical fiber is the last article from this chapter. या चॅप्टर मधले सर्वात अत्यंत महत्त्वाचं जे आर्टिकल आहे ते टॅपरेड ऑप्टिकल फायबर आहे. टॅपरेड ऑप्टिकल फायबर मध्ये वी हॅव टू से दॅट टॅपरेड ऑप्टिकल many times question asked on that dash type of fiber are used for gathering the maximum amount of power from the poor quality laser spot. मल्टिपल चॉईसचा अत्यंत महत्त्वाचा क्वेश्चन आहे. कुठल्या प्रकारचं फायबर यूज केलं जातं फॉर गेटिंग द मॅक्सिमम अमाऊंट ऑफ पोअर क्वालिटी, मॅक्सिमम अमाऊंट ऑफ पॉवर, गॅदरिंग maximum amount of power from the poor quality lesser pot. Poor quality lesser pot, what we say, dash type of fiber are useful for getting maximum amount of power. To getting maximum amount of power, maximum amount of power get करण्यासाठी कुठल्या प्रकारचं फायबर वापरलं जातं? फ्रॉम पोअर क्वालिटी लेझर स्पॉट. पोअर क्वालिटी लेझर पॉट पासून मॅक्झिमम अमाऊंट ऑफ पॉवर यूज करण्यासाठी टॅपरेड फायबर यूज केलं जातं. Tapered optical fiber is used for such type of condition. So the option is tapered. And what is the formula for the tapered fiber? That is AI mu I square sin square theta I is equals to A0 mu 0 square sin theta 0 square. Mu is the refractive index and theta is the angle. And here AI upon A0 is the ratio, that is tapered diameter ratio for the input and output. AI upon A0 is equals to say R square, that is R is called as tapered ratio. NAI upon NA0, numerical aperture of input and numerical aperture for the output, we have to consider that is equals to say R. And then important characteristics for the tapered optical fiber is more characteristics are similar for the HPSIR and IR. What are the similar characteristics here? आउटपुट टेम्परेचर कितना है 196 to 400 degree Celsius. This is the range of the temperature range for the HPSIR and HPIR. फक्त निगेटिव्ह साइन होतं त्या ठिकाणी. हिअर 196 -196 to 400 degree Celsius. Here 196 degree Celsius to 400 degree Celsius. Then humidity 100%. All fiber we have to consider humidity should be 100%. रेडिएशन रेजिस्टेंस गुड होना चाहिए. रेडिएशन रेजिस्टेंस क्या होता है? गुड. न्यूमेरिकल अपर्चर फैक्टर 0.24 and then power transmission. These characteristics are similar for HPSIR, HPSUV, HPSIR and tapered fiber, and that is power transmission rate is 100 kilowatt per centimeter square to 500 kilowatt, pulse rate 500 kilowatt per centimeter square. These are the similar characteristics for what type of fiber? That is number 1 HPSUV, HPSIR, then Halid tapered fiber. These characteristics are similar. Remember, only wavelength is different. And now input and output ratio is 5:1. Remember, input and output ratio for the tapered fiber is 5:1. Then core diameter is 100 micrometer to 40 millimeter. 100 micrometer to the 40 millimeter. That is the core diameter ratio for the tapered fiber. Output core diameter is 50 micrometer to 1.5 millimeter. 50 micrometer to 1.5 millimeter. Tapered length is generally 1 to 3 meter. 1 to 3 meter, but total length is approximately 3 to 10 meter. Typically it is 3 to 10 meter. Generally it is used 3 meter fiber only. And core material is pure synthetic silica. जसं मागच्या वेळेस आपण लक्षात ठेवलं, that is for HPSIR and HPSUV core material doped silica. Here we have to say that pure synthetic silica is a core material used for that. And then primary coating is aluminum. मागच्या वेळेस सुद्धा होतं. आणि पॉलिमर होतं, इथं अल्युमिनियम आणि ॲक्रेलाइट यूज केलं जातं. आणि सेकंडरी कोटिंग इपॉक्सी ॲक्रेलाइट किंवा fluoropolymers and epoxy acrylites. These are the secondary coating used for such type of fiber. And other characteristics are 9, 10, 11 and 12 and 13 are similar to HPSIR and HPSUV. Remember, what are the different types of characteristics? Only halide fiber having numerical aperture factor is different, that is greater than 0.7, all having 0.24. Then second, what we have to say that halide fiber near about 1.5 and 150, 15 and 150. That is the range we have to consider for this condition for halide fiber. And tapered fiber we have to consider input output ratio is 5:1. Then input core diameter is 100 micrometer to 414 millimeter. Output core diameter is 50 micrometer to 1.5 millimeter. Tapping length is 1 to 3. Total length is typically 3 to 10 meter. Core material is pure synthetic silica. Primary coating is aluminum acrylate. Secondary coating is epoxy, acrylite or fluoropolymers. This is the condition for the secondary. And then we have operating temperature is 196 to 400 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 100%. Radiation resistance is good. Numerical aperture is 0.4 and power transmission is 100 kilowatt to 500 kilowatt per centimeter square. These are the important points we have to remember for the halide fibers and tapered fibers. Many times multiple choice question asking on these type of articles, that is what your dash type of fibers are useful for getting maximum amount of power from poor quality of laser spot. The tapered is the condition. And what is the length of the tapered fiber? 1 to 3 meter. Total length is 3 to 10 meter. Then core material is pure synthetic silica. Primary coating is aluminum or acrylite. Secondary is epoxy, acrylite or fluoropolymers. This is the secondary. Humidity factor is good. And humidity is 100%. Radiation resistance is good. Then bending radiation is we have to consider for the halide fiber, that is 0.4. They are 40 times greater than the optical fiber length. Power radiation and clock pulses are similar for the halide HPSIR, HPSUV and tapered fiber. These are the important points we have to remember. Write down all the points. Thank you.